Welcome to Bourbon School. I'm Lauren.
And I'm Brian. And today we're going to start our series of bourbon biographies with Dr. William Forrester. Okay, so we thought it would be fun to talk about some of the names that you see on bourbon bottles because a lot of times you don't really know who these
it's curiosity,
yeah.
Right? Like, who is William Forrester?
Right.
Who's the old Forrester?
Right. And so we thought we'd start with one of our favorites, which is Old Forrester, who is named, or which is named for Dr. William Forrester. Mm-hmm. So we're going to do a quick biography to let you know kind of who this person was. So William Forrester was born in 1836. The same time that James Madison died, the same time that the Battle of the Alamo took place and the War for Texas independence. So there's a lot going on. But to me, the most important thing that was happening in 1836 was Dr. William Forrester was born because we have this lovely whiskey here. His father was a physician. And he died when William was only 9 years old.
Very common for the time.
Right. And William's mom actually died when he was 11. So by 11, he was an orphan.
That's rough.
And was kind of taken in by his executor, basically, the family of his executor. He went to the University of Louisville and practiced to be a physician, just like his dad. He graduated in 1862. He was at the top of his class, although we should say that the kind of bar to get over to be a doctor in 1862 was a little bit
high,
a little bit lower than what it was.
You could be a barber, you know?
Yeah, right. But when he graduated, this was also the middle of another pretty big event in our history, which was the Civil War. So instead of starting a private practice, he got sidetracked and became an assistant surgeon in the 5th Kentucky Cavalry during the Civil War. And Lauren, you can take it from there.
Now, Brian, was Kentucky in the Union or the Confederacy?
They were actually a border state. It's a little fun history lesson for you.
Little known, I think, by most Americans.
Which means a slave state, but remain loyal to the Union.
4. Only 4.
Right, absolutely.
Okay, so Kentucky's one of the 4. So Dr. Forrester is a Union surgeon, and he is in some of the major battles. He's in the Battle of Chattanooga, and he gets actually imprisoned by the Confederates in 1863. But whiskey, bourbon, they're used as anesthetics during this time period. They don't always have chloroform on hand. So the best thing you can do is give your soldier a bottle before you take his arm or leg off.
All right, right.
And Dr. Forrester is doing that. It is the best anesthetic you can get if you're on the field. So he does that. He uses, whiskey, what he has on hand to numb his patients as best as he can, which I think is pretty noble. So anyway, it became known eventually as Doctor's Choice. Okay. Because, it does. And of course, it's one of the first bottled bourbons.
Right.
But it has to do with one of his acquaintances.
Right. So he was a neighbor of a guy named George Garvin Brown in Louisville, and they were friends and dined frequently together. And
was it like a business venture?
It was. They were also very friendly. Like, George Brown kind of decided, this guy's a doctor. He's got firsthand experience with using whiskey as a medicinal kind of remedy. So I'm going to name this bottle after my friend. And for marketing purposes, they actually took out one of the R's. Dr. Forrester's name is spelled with 2 R's, but they actually changed it to Old Forrester with 1 R, just for marketing purposes.
And we know, flash forward to Prohibition, it was one of the only distributors that was allowed to practice during Prohibition for medicinal purposes. So they have this kind of long lineage of medical usage.
Yes.
For bourbon.
And Old Forrester today is known for, I would say, really great whiskey. I know we're...
Oh, you don't have to convert me, Brian.
Right. I almost feel like we're Sims for Old Forrester sometimes, but it is so good.
It can do no wrong.
Right. And their most popular kind of line would be the Whiskey Row series. They've got an 1870, which is commemorating the first bottled whiskey. In 1897, which is the year the Bottle and Bond Act passed. This one here is 19. Oh, I'm sorry. This one is 1910. This is a double oaked, and then 1920, which is their Prohibition recipe. And all of these are great, great bottles, and definitely something you should have on your shelf.
Oh yeah, if you are looking for a bourbon and you're not sure what you're doing, if you grab an Old Forester, you can't go wrong.
Absolutely. So now you know a little bit about the name behind Old Forester.
Dr. William Forrester.
Right.
With 2 R's.
Right.
If you like this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and ring the bell for notifications.
So you never miss another episode of Bourbon School.
Brian, cheers to Old Forester.